We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 100 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. It's a big number. I almost can't even count that high. On this week's episode of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast, we are going to talk about the top 100 movie moments according to IGN. Who you ask? People with really bad website designers, but we're going to save you a click and go through it line by line, make a comment about every single one, just because we need to keep up these episode lengths that have been set in my absence with their 2-hour lengths that there's no way we're going to do that.
Down an episode, up an hour in length.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting how that works.
And that's, we're going to talk about what we watched this week, and then we're all going to go to bed.
Something like that.
Scott, you suggested this.
Yes, I thought it.
This
I was
thing.
trying
So
to
do you have like a method to your madness, or?
I was lining up hundreds, you know? We already did the top 100. Like we did a guessing game with the top 100 movies and the top 100 TV shows. So I was like, our 100th episode has to be somehow 100 themed. So
no,
like,
that's when we drop it entirely.
It was either that or talk about the number 100 episodes of shows that we like. And certain shows like Family Guy just give you a bullshit recap of the previous 100 episodes.
Which is what we should have done, is just done a recap.
But then some shows are like Psych, and they give you a fucking awesome Clue episode.
Oh, that's the 100th episode?
That's the 100th episode.
maybe our 100th episode should have been actually talking about TV shows 100th episode.
recap.
That probably would have been a
good
better one. See, this is the thing. We got to do more brainstorming as a group. We'll do that for the 200th. We'll do TV shows that have done.
You plan on living that long?
Those are some high hopes.
Yeah, it's some
damn.
major expectations.
You guys,
I don't think
you
I have
guys think
200
that,
in me.
Yeah, you guys think that high school Andrew sucked. I don't know how 28-year-old Andrew's going to be. He's probably going to be bitter. Yelling at kids for crossing his lawn.
Man, tell me about that.
Who am I kidding? I'm there already.
Y'all,
Don't park your fucking car on my lawn.
Y'all ever
I don't
lived
care
on
if
a
technically
corner
the
lot?
first. I used to.
Yeah.
My parents do. I know what that's
this
like.
This is like corner lot times 10. People cut around my tree.
Hot damn. Cut the tree on them.
Well, I like the tree.
Put up piano wire from that to the next nearest hard thing.
This is my deck.
And then just
right at the...
no more. No mas.
Yeah, well, hopefully I don't run into that when I'm cleaning up all the ice cap cups as well.
Those littering fucks.
I know. Welcome to homeownership.
Cut off their hands.
Problem
You
solved.
know who else has a hand that got cut off?
Luke Skywalker.
The guy who comes in at number 100 on the top 100 list. Scott, tell us about this moment.
Okay, so IGN's top 100 best movie moments. Number 100 is the return of Luke Skywalker from Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which I would have to probably agree. This definitely belongs on this list. That entrance of him at the end, you know, especially since you spent a whole lot of the movie being like, when is he going to show up? And then you get this like 3-second thing, which I was okay with. I know a lot of people.
I didn't think about it at all.
Really?
I spent the whole movie like, ugh, Ray, you are awesome. You do things to hear and hear. That's my heart and my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is
Just in
this
case
is
people
an
are
audio
like,
medium.
What's he tapping? Sounds hard. It was my head.
But yeah, I just kind of like the build up, you know, because we did get Harrison Ford throughout the movie, and you're kind of like, and we also got Leia, so you're kind of waiting for Luke. I should say. And so I like that we just got a little tease of him at the end. He doesn't even say anything. And then that leads into the whole, Last Jedi stuff. So I really enjoy that moment. And yeah. On to the next one?
I think I knew that it was coming like that they only did the short thing before I watched the movie, because I don't remember waiting for it to happen. I feel like I already knew ahead of time that his bit in the movie was only going to be that short.
That's
amount.
fair.
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
been
hard to
so long.
say. It's from 2015, which I was like, oh god, it's
See,
already
it
been
doesn't
4
feel like
years.
it's been that long.
I know, but it's because we've gotten to Star Wars every year since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
I mean-
So we haven't had any time off, so it feels very like it just hasn't left the zeitgeist really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on to the next one.
Yep.
All
On
right.
to the next
The
one.
next top 100 movie moment, number 99, is Bullet Time from The Matrix.
See, I think for this one doesn't hit me as like, oh my god,
Really?
because I was a little kid
Okay.
Never
when I
seen it.
watched it, right? Like, so I was just like, oh, cool, this is something we do, but I wasn't like fully formulating thoughts.
That's fair because you
like
you had an experience.
7-year-old thought is like just doing the same shit, right?
Yeah,
just
everything's
copy
like
it.
well, everything's new, so it's also like
Yeah.
that's the way it is in a sense. It's like it's
And as a kid, you're pretty fucking flexible, just because like things haven't set where they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
You don't have like crippling back pain yet, so you're able to get back
Yeah,
like that.
like, I
So you
can
you
live.
go and reenact that, and you don't realize how impressive it is that a grown fucking man is bending at his knees and his hips at the same time. Forget about the dodging the bullet part. It's just
yeah, it's just
the
an
human
athletic feat
flexibility.
that's just very impressive.
like I'm sure it'll come up later on this list, which is like the Neo like stopping the bullets.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm sure that'll come up somewhere. That is a lot more impressive to me than like the dodge.
That's fair. I think this
But
one.
the other one's more iconic, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other one's definitely more iconic. I think this one just has the kind of the influential kind of credit to it, if that makes sense. Like it didn't happen. You never got bullet time before this, like that slow mo, going all around. So that's one thing. Like I think it does deserve a little credit for it. It was the first time we got that like this particular type of slow mo. I know they came up with like a certain like shooting technique in order to do this, like in particular effect. But since then, so many action movies have used that same effect that it's like, yes, it's just kind of commonplace now, but I think that's like one thing that kind of deserves a little credit for, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
On
I
to,
feel that.
on to the next one.
On to the next one.
So number 98 is You Shall Not Pass from The
Yep.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the
That's-
Ring.
Gandalf the Grey.
Yes.
You got to specify.
True. Gandalf the Grey, putting the
This-
staff and sword down.
This one I would have put up higher myself.
I agree.
I mean,
think it's
I haven't seen the next, 97?
97, but
Haven't seen them, but this one, like, to me, it feels a lot more iconic.
I
Because
agree.
I mean, everyone my grandmother.
It's the first one I've
This line.
seen, and it's the only
Yeah.
one I hear references to quoted on the regular.
Yeah.
still, with it being almost 20 years old, too. Like, that's the thing. Like, it deserves that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. I definitely thought this one would have been a lot higher up on the list.
I don't know why, but I feel like I just feel like the Matrix is so much older than Lord of the Rings.
they have a two-year
But
difference.
it's only 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, no, it's funny to think because it's like, oh yeah, no, we were like, so the Matrix came out when we were all 6, technically, and then this came out when we were all what, 9 then?
9.
Yeah,
8.
8, 9. Yeah, so 8. Yeah. And so it's like, oh god, these have just been part of our lives the whole time. So maybe that's kind of influencing it a little bit. Because I'm
Maybe.
imagining there's going to be, the classics, a few of those classic scenes, the Casablancas, the stuff like that. Casablanca, Blanca. Anyways.
Something like that. Casa something. Next up, we've got, and this one is one of those things that like everyone knows who, what, when, where, why, how it is.
Yeah.
But just I think it's become like almost a trope, like a joke.
Oh, definitely.
that's
It's definitely
the
that's the
pottery
way I
wheel
know it
scene.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like the pottery wheel scene from Ghost. They make fun of it on a couple of different occasions in Family Guy. There's a part in Community where they won't let it happen.
Yeah.
Like they're in like pottery class and the teacher's like, no ghosting or else you get kicked out. And of course they do it and everyone's like, ha ha ha, get the fuck out.
Yeah, no,
So
I
it's
agree.
like-
I've actually never seen the movie Ghost, so I only
No?
know of this because of all these references and seen it when I was younger. It's
Yeah.
one of those questions. It's one of those scenes that pop up. But yeah, I've seen this scene, but I've never seen the movie. Does that make sense? So it's really
Yeah,
interesting that like
it's iconic, but unnecessary at the same time. Like no one really cares, or that I know really cares about the movie. They just know the scene because of the jokes.
exactly. I agree, and I think that's why I like this list as the idea was for these types of movies that Ghost is not making the top 100 movies list,
No.
but this moment definitely deserves it just because of its cultural significance that it's had, like via its the spoofs and etc. that have come from it, and like kind of the same way with the bullet time before that. Actually, I didn't even think of bullet time even in that sense. The number of spoofs that we got just of bullet time too in pop
Yeah.
culture. That it's like, yeah, it's just a present thing. Both of these kind of, and I think that's gonna be a lot of these movie moments is those kind of iconic things that, and that's why they're the iconic movie moments because they are so like in pop culture, and that's they get made fun of because they're those iconic moments.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Andy Dufresne escaping from Shawshank. We got the rain-soaked escape, which this one, I don't know if this one's iconic, but
Well, it says this is technically
it
the best
definitely is a
movie
moment
moments.
that yeah.
So it's more like a subjective list that we're going through as opposed to
Yeah.
iconic. But I agree. It's
It's an incredible part of that movie.
yeah. And
I'm not sure if it deserves to, like, that movie definitely I would put it in a top 100 list.
yes,
Like, I'd probably put it in a top 25 list for myself.
definitely.
But I don't know if this part of the movie deserves to be on the top 100 best movie moments.
What moment would you say? Like if they're
If it had to be a shot, if it had to be a Shawshank
if you had to
moment,
pick a Shawshank moment, would you say there's another
Well,
moment, or do you think this is maybe just a moment somebody picked just to get it on the list?
it would have to be this from Shawshank, because this is like the final, like, culminating thing. Like, what else are they gonna do? Are they gonna have when Morgan Freeman when he gets his parole? Like, no. Like, it has to be this one. But I just don't think that this one particular part of this movie is like the best moment. I think it's just overall as a movie, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think this pick like of this moment might have just been for like, oh, this is a great movie. We can't not have a moment from one of the best
Yeah.
movies. In
Like, it was
our
such a
best
build-up,
movie moments list.
Like,
Yeah.
they build up over years, so it deserves to be on a top 100 list for sure. But I don't know if there's a specific scene in it that like stands out to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I'm trying to think back. I haven't seen this, and I haven't watched Shawshank since like for at least 5 years, and so. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of another moment, just like this one's sticking out just because it's what was mentioned to us from this list. So,
Oh yeah.
but anyways, on to the next one. Number 95 is the why so serious moment from The Dark Knight.
This one, I'd say it deserves to be on the list for sure. I'm glad that it's low.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't
Like,
necessarily
it's-
deserve to be out near the top, but as like
It is memorable.
definitely amongst like comic book movies, I think it would rank higher if this was a list of only comic book movie moments. But yeah, there's just so many like really iconic moments that like I agree this one deserves it in there. But like there's at least one Jack Nicholson Joker line which I hope is above this one because it's my favorite thing from.
Is this Have You Ever Danced with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight?
Yes, I love that
I
line.
love that line.
It's such a great scene here. That or just the moment. Oh, that's not a Joker moment, so we'll get to that if we get to another.
Someone
Batman
tweeted that at me one time. Some guy I don't even know. Like I think it was like a Learn Spanish tweeting page where like every day they'd give you like a new stupid phrase.
Yeah.
And like I quoted it at somebody, and then someone came back and me like, "Well, have you ever danced?" I was like, "Oh shit."
Oh snap.
Next up, we have the ominous arrival of the birds in the movie The Birds from 1963. And the only reason I know this movie exists is because of Bob's Burgers.
Oh really? Okay.
There's an episode where they have a bird, a pigeon, I believe, that like ends up in the restaurant, and they're trying to get rid of it, and Bob is like he's not happy about it. Like he's terrified of birds, and he like recants the story, and it ends up being like Tippi Hedren in The Birds. That is the only reason I know about this movie.
Okay. I only know about this again because of Seen It. It was one of those like scenes Seen It's a board game. I don't know, for our audience I should say. Seen
For
It's
our
a,
younger listeners,
yeah, was a DVD board game that you play. It would show movie clips. And you played,
DVD was a plastic disc that you put
oh yeah, I
things
forgot
on.
to mention that. Yeah.
you know your grandparents' old computer with the crack down the side? That's DVDs.
Yeah.
It's not a coaster. It looks like a coaster. It can be used as a coaster, depending on.
Sometimes you see them hanging from like people's mirrors. Those shiny disc thing
Yeah, it's
looking
like, well,
things.
that's a
circle
that's a
things.
CD, but yeah, it's the same idea.
Same idea. But yeah, have you ever seen The Birds, Craig?
No,
I
I
didn't think
have
so.
seen clips of it.
And I imagine this scene you've probably seen, which is the arrival of like the birds slowly arriving on
Yes.
into the wherever it takes place. I don't want to say city because I'm not sure if it's actually a city or a town or hamlet.
Village.
Yeah, but on to this next one. This one I feel is a little bit more Craig's alley, which is Game of Catch from the Field of Dreams. And I only say that because I feel Craig's the biggest baseball fan among us, but that could be a whole other debate.
This one, I would say that this one on the list of best movie moments, like they have to have 92 solid moments where it comes up that come up before this. Like, there's no way the game of catch he plays with his dad isn't higher up on this list for me. Like,
Okay,
it's just-
that's where you're going with this. Yeah.
I cry at movies.
Yes.
This is a tearjerker 100%.
No, I'll give you that. I haven't. Again,
Like-
this is one of those ones that I can't remember if I've ever actually seen or not, or if I've just seen so many references to this movie that I just know it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like there has to be 92 staggeringly better moments for me to allow this to be at 93.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot over the next ones that you're going to be like, yeah, that doesn't deserve to be higher than.
Like, I think there's gonna be
Game
some that
Catch.
are just gonna absolutely come in with like media or recency bias, like either one where like the media
Yeah.
being like people who rate shit and be like, it's 100% because it's awkward. Like, well, it fucking sucks, okay? Like, it's not a good movie. Like, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of those that come in.
I think the next one is going to be one of those like ones that you're like, what the? How is it higher than this? And I'll give you
Yeah.
maybe slight recency bias on this next one that we've got, which is the Furiosa scream from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it because those aren't my movies. I remember watching like the previous Mad Max movies
Yeah.
that came out back in the day and thinking, wow, this is just not my shit.
Well, I'll tell you, the Fury Road I think is the best one of them because the technology we have today, and it's a well-told story. I'll give it that, and it's contained too, so you don't have to be like familiar necessarily with the originals. I've only seen one or two of the original Mad Max movies, and those when I was younger. But I agree that this moment isn't what sticks out to me from this movie. Even like for me, it's the one dude on the front of the one like truck or car you see, like
Yeah.
playing the guitar, like that was in the trailer. That's what sticks out more than this scream. Like trying to think of the context of even this scream, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank because I haven't watched Fury Road in 2 years. 2 or 3 years now. What year was it came out? I was 2015. So it's been like probably 4 years. It's
4
like
years, yeah.
3 to 4 years since I've seen it. So yeah, I would give you that the Game of Catch I think would be higher on this list. I don't even know if I would have given.
Even just that one spot, I'll give it.
Yeah.
Or the next one, like Platoon. That wasn't a movie for me, but to be completely honest, most things that are related to Vietnam just
Yeah, I'm not a war movie guy.
It's-
It's just,
like I like war movies, like, but things that have something to do with Vietnam, being a war that never fully affected Canada,
I get that.
like
Yeah.
on like the same scale as the States, and I think Vietnam was more like political than it was actual like war related for me. Like I look at it as like more of like the government being fuck ups than like how many people died, unfortunately. So like movies like Platoon just they don't stand out enough to me to be a best movie moment. However,
Yeah.
What's in the Box, the next one from the movie Seven, fucking that deserves to be so much higher because just the way this movie ends, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'll give you that. When I first saw Seven, which is what What's in the Box from. At the
Yeah.
end,
What's in the box?
when he just goes crazy, it's just like, oh shit, oh damn, like, cause that movie is dark to begin with, and like the fact
Oh God,
the
yeah.
fact that
The fact
dark ending isn't like something you even ready for, like, or even suspect. Like nowadays, I'm ready for it, but back in the day, I would no. Like when I first saw this, because I obviously didn't see it when I don't think I would have seen it when it came out. What year was it?
I really hope your parents
95.
didn't take it.
Yeah, I doubt I saw it when I was 2 years old. I imagine
No,
I didn't see this till I was probably was an adult by the time I actually saw this. Like actually like 18 or 19. I saw it, probably seen this in, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like since I probably sought it out on my own as opposed to seeing it with my family.
Yeah. No, this is amazing. Just the like, oh, here's a head in a box. Oh, you're gonna shoot this guy. No, like you're going to prison. These other guys are dead. Holy shit! It's just the culmination of something is just incredible.
Yeah, yeah, and just the way it kind of like randomly, well, not randomly, but like comes out of nowhere in a sense. Craig, I think we might have lost Andrew now this time.
Oh no.
It looks like you two are switching off today on,
Or
he's just talking
doomed?
to himself still. Is the recording doomed? It's possible. It's our 100th episode, so it would only make sense if it was plagued with a little bit of technical difficulties and trouble.
Absolutely.
So I'm not sure if he's still just talking to himself or not, but I'm gonna keep us going on the list, I think.
Might as well.
Yeah. So we just did number 90, which was What's in the Box from Seven.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know
I
that.
have not seen it. Nope.
Now just got now this page has to go to the next one, but it won't load the next page. Oh, see. Okay, one moment. See, this is just so many technical difficulties. I can't load the next page, I guess, of the article. Now my thing's frozen. My my browser's frozen for like the article. So yeah, we'll
Maybe
give that a
just
second to try and load.
Internet in Canada's just
Now I can't
gone.
hear you, Craig.
What?
Yeah, no, I can't hear you.
Oh my gosh.
I can see you're moving your mouth. Can't hear. And Andrew just texted me, "What's going on?" I feel like I should maybe just pause our recording. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right. So number 89 is I Am Iron Man. I've got to talk about this one because I think it should be higher. This is ridiculous.
Obviously.
I think there's some comic book bias in this list. That's all I'm gonna say.
Tell us how you really feel, Scott. No, this one, I definitely think this one should be higher. I wouldn't put it at like top 25. I'd say maybe 60 to 50. It deserves to be on.
I would say at least top 50.
Yeah.
I'd say 50 would
But
be a nice
it definitely
number for it.
is
But
a top movie moment because it solidifies something that becomes a trademark through the next 10 years of superhero movies.
yeah, exactly. Kick that off. It like sparked that character that was
Yeah.
around for 10 years, and that then had a big callback in the biggest, arguably the biggest movie of all
to
time.
the way he ended it.
Like,
So it's how he started, how he ended. I don't understand though
Yeah.
how the next one, how it's. I wouldn't put this as a best movie moment. It's the "Don't Call Me Shirley" moment from
Yeah,
from
it's just a
Airplane.
nice line.
I wouldn't put that in the top best movie moments. However, I do enjoy the line, so I'm okay with it being on the list just for me personally. But I don't think it I just don't
one
think
of
it
my
deserves to
favorite
be
movies.
there.
And it's iconic.
Like it definitely isn't a top 100 movie of all time. So I'm not sure how this moment should be in the best movie moments. If it's most memorable, yes, but I believe like the best movie moments would be like things where you feel something inside. And
Well, that one's a nice
It's
zinger.
one
Don't
of the
Call
only
Me
ones on the
Shirley.
list that you keep hearing quotes.
that's fair,
on.
but like everything else I've approved of on this, like I have like emotions attached to it. Whereas Don't Call Me Shirley, I'm kind of like, meh. There's no emotions. It's just something that's funny. Next up is
I disagree.
Surely You Can't Be Serious. Next up we got
I am serious. Don't call
Next
me
up, we
Shirley.
got The Trigger Fall on Bridge on the River Kwai. And I'm going to be honest, I saw this movie once
Never
when I was
heard
a
of
kid, so I can't really say much about it.
No comment. On to the next one. We got to get through these quicker before we have more
That's it.
technical
My name
difficulties.
is Inigo Montoya. This
Deserves
deserves to be on the list for sure. This one is a classic Mandy Patinkin before he got Pudge. It deserves to be there. And it's in a good spot, too.
Next one.
Next, we've got the leg cross in Basic Instinct.
Definitely is up. I think it deserves to be on here. That scene's been parodied, and yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and
just a
Sharon
good scene.
Stone is just a flat-out smoke show, so let it be.
Yes. Next. We're moving quick, guys.
shit.
We're on 84. So food fight from Animal House. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know. I don't know if that one's the thing that sticks out.
nobody cares.
Especially from that
That whole
movie. It's
movie,
like
yeah.
the party sticks out more
I
than
think just
anything.
the National
whatever.
Lampoon movie alone should be there, not necessarily one specific
Yeah.
moment from it.
That's
Like next,
true. I'll agree
the
with that.
ballroom
On to the
dance.
next one.
This one I think deserves to be higher up on the best movie moments because it's happened twice, and both times you feel something inside. Like, I'm not saying it's top 10. I definitely feel like this one should be like top 40, not 83.
I'm only gonna disagree just because I haven't even
Die,
watched the newer
Scott.
one of
Die.
I don't need Beauty and the Beast in my life,
Well,
to be
we don't
honest.
need you in our lives, Scott. Next up, we've got the opening crane shot.
That's fair.
From Touch of Evil. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Then we got Nobody's Perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
from
Never heard of it.
Something
Box of chocolates. Yes.
Skipped
Great.
over 2 movies.
Should be higher.
Those might be classics. We haven't seen them, so no comment.
Never seen them. Never heard of. I haven't even heard of them. I
Life
can't
is
even
like a
talk
box
about
of
them, so
chocolates. Another quote that's so memorable, but I wouldn't even put this as the best moment of the movie. So I
That's
think this
fair.
list is a
I'll
little
give you that.
convoluted. Like
It's
it's
a
very
good-
muddled down with like here's quotes that are associated with it, as opposed to being like the top best movie quotes. Because this is not a top moment.
I'll give you that a little bit. It's kind of sometimes like some of these are a little bit like that, but it's also a good. Like I like it as an opening. Like it's
It
the
opens
premise.
conversation,
It is
I guess.
the
But
way he kind of sets, and like which is the premise of us
Yeah.
hearing his life story. You know what I mean? Like him starting the conversation because it starts with him explaining about the box of chocolates analogy, and then him going from there because he just likes to talk, and I get that, and I just love that. So on to the next one.
I'm
Number
Spartacus.
79.
This one is very memorable. I'm gonna let it be, and it's in a good spot. It's
Yep, I
low,
can't
but
argue
it's
with
on
it.
there.
Next one's from Andy Hall. Never seen it.
Heard of
Kind
it?
of heard
Never
of
seen
it.
it.
Moving on. 77 is Shane, come back. I've only heard of this movie because it's like what they reference in Logan. And it's like what I think this is the movie that they reference in
tell you.
Logan, right? Okay, on to the next one. From A Clockwork Orange, something to do with a milk bar. Never heard of it. On to the next one.
Wow.
We're really moving through these guys. I don't know if we still have Craig connected or not. This is another one.
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay,
You guys are
he's
just blowing
blowing
through
through
movies I've
movies.
never heard
Okay,
of.
cool.
I've never seen that one either.
Well, I'm trying to move us along.
Easy Rider.
Like,
This
we're
one,
trying
number
to-
74. Okay, this is a top
Okay.
movie. The shooting, yeah, I'd say that's definitely the best moment in this movie. This one covers like the whole like life of these guys. This one definitely deserves to be there.
Can't argue with that. On to the
Schindler's
next one.
List. Okay, anything Schindler's List related is just like,
I
yeah.
think you're not allowed to argue
But
with
like,
that
I'd put it higher
Should
personally.
obviously be on the list.
either. Especially this scene in particular, actually, like the red girl, like it's a very, like it's a
Yeah.
black and white movie, and you have one scene where there's a little girl in red. It's very,
It draws your attention,
like
right?
it has a lot of meaning to it. So, yeah, no, I definitely would pick this. Like I've only seen this movie once because it's far too intense for me.
It's a bummer.
Like,
it is a straight up
emotionally.
bummer.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like like emotionally, I'm just like I can't like revisit. It doesn't even have like the connection to me. Like I'm not part of the Jewish faith. Like doesn't I don't have that connection, but I just kind of feel for the
absolutely.
empathy. I'm just like ah.
It is a story that
Yeah,
just like
and so-
fuck me. God damn it. Next,
Yeah. Not
yeah,
to be.
next up,
Yeah, on the next one.
Pulp
Quoted
Fiction.
scripture.
This movie is one that does sweet fuck all for me. So they could wipe this from this list entirely, and it would not affect it for me.
I think it deserves to be on the list because it is iconic. Like it is one of those top ones. It's very sticks out. I think it helped propel Sam Jackson into like superstardom.
And that's
I would
fair.
say. And Quentin Tarantino. Like this was his second movie. I think his second movie. If I'm remembering correctly now. We talked about him so recently too. But
Something like
Next
that.
up,
yeah,
Top of the
On
World,
to the
White
next
Heat.
one.
Nope, never seen it. Number 7
Never
is
heard of it.
Storming
1949.
Normandy Beach. This is a war movie I can get behind. Saving Private Ryan. Fantastic movie. Tom Hanks, he's a killer. I guess he's a killer, but he is killer.
Well, he's a soldier in it.
Yeah.
They all. Yeah.
Fantastic movie. It's in a
Yeah, I
good
won't
spot,
argue with
I
it.
think.
I can't disagree. I think it's up there. It's not like, again, I mentioned already, war movies
Yeah.
aren't my big thing, so. But I do acknowledge that that's one of the better ones. Like I've actually watched that one a couple times.
Next.
So,
Ooh.
but
You go ahead. I was going to say next
go
up.
ahead.
The
Yeah, I'm
bike
ignorant
jump
too.
from The Great Escape. I'm going to be honest. I saw this movie when I was like 8. I have no idea what else is in this outside of it being a McQueen movie. Like
that's what I was gonna say. That's the only part of this movie I know about. That and like him standing up to guards
Yeah.
at one point, where that they like remade also in
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. So yeah. Craig, have you ever watched The Great Escape?
Oh. Guess he didn't hear you.
Okay, I don't know if
Okay.
he's still there or not.
I'm still here.
Okay, you are.
I'm
Have you
still
seen
here.
The Great
just
Escape?
can't- I just couldn't. I couldn't hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, sorry, Clem Fandango.
No, okay. Well, I do know that I think you've seen Back to the Future, right? Or is this one of those ones that I'm like, I always assume
Yes.
you've seen? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we've got the
several
the
times.
first test from Back to the Future coming in at 68. I agree. I think this is a very iconic scene. I remember when I first saw this being like, oh, that's really cool how they like light the fire right between his legs and stuff. I was a kid.
This one is one.
so
I think this is a
obviously,
good scene in the movie too. Like it is a best movie moment.
Yeah.
Outside of when he tries to fuck his mom. That's maybe the only thing that might be higher on the list, because his mom is super hot.
Very important.
Next up, we got Die
Well,
Hard. Yippee kayak, other
you
buckets.
can't argue with this scene, I don't think. Yep.
Come to the
I love
coast.
that line. I love that scene.
No, it's this is good, and this is definitely the most memorable moment I think from that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In that
absolutely.
entire Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode.
Helicopter rescue from Superman.
All right. Well,
Honestly, this isn't
In
like the first
66,
Superman movie thing that comes to me. Like, honestly, the first one kind of it gets washed over for me. So
that's fair. I think that's because it was before
Yeah.
our time too. Like it was distance before our time too. Like there was like at least close to a decade, I think, before, or 2 decades before we were born that these movies. What? I got the date right here. What am I looking at? 78. So 15. What? No, 6. Doing
Yep,
the math in my
15.
head.
Or-
No. Okay. Yeah. My mom's age plus 5. Anyways.
next up, we've got an '89
yeah.
movie, the
Yeah.
fake orgasm scene from When Harry Met Sally. This one, I don't think it deserves to be in a best
seen
movie
it.
moment. It's one that's funny for me as a guy watching it because I'm like, hey, I've never seen that before, which isn't true. I totally have, but it's just one of those things. Like it's in public, it's funny, but it's more referenced in things, I think, which is why I know it more so than having seen the movie.
I wouldn't give this one. I've never seen When Harry Met Sally. I don't particularly care to.
Me neither.
I'm just not a rom-com guy.
Well,
really,
good thing
though,
I already
so,
told you to kill yourself.
like,
Next up, The Abduction from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I've never seen this movie, so
neither have I.
can't comment.
I've been meaning to. It's on Netflix, or not Netflix. I think it's on Amazon Prime, but I haven't gotten watching it yet. So, next up, number 63, Death of Roy Batty.
I honestly haven't watched
Yeah,
the
that's-
first Blade Runner in forever.
It's the reason
Me
this
neither.
one's a big one, I think, is because he gives a whole like monologue, which he actually, from what I hear, he like the actor came up with on the spot. So it's like an improv, like, and it's this big, kind of Shakespearean type, speech about life and the themes that play into
Which is
Blade
what
Runner.
you expect out of Blade Runner.
Yeah, exactly, and it's big.
They have nothing but time in those movies.
So it's so true. They're so long. But yeah, I get why this would fall on a movie moment one. Like get it. Like I get why you guys don't think so.
Yeah, I only
On to
really
the
give
next
him
one,
credit
then?
for being in
I've never
Gallivant
seen it. That's all.
and like Batman. And I think he played Cardinal Rourke, so I don't even think of him as being in Blade Runner. So that one, I'll pass. The final gunfight in The Wild Bunch.
Okay.
Never saw it. Okay, the psych
Never
ward
heard of it.
escape in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know what? This
I've
one,
heard of this
I
movie,
don't think this is
don't
my
know the
most
scene.
memorable moment. I think my most memorable moment is kind of like at the end. Because I'm not sure if I'm remembering the right movie, but I'm pretty sure they give him the old not episiotomy. That's where they cut you from badge to butt. When they give him the old they cut the brain out. What the fuck is that called? That's the one, yeah.
It's a lobotomy.
Like, I'm pretty sure they give him that at the end, and he's like brain dead. I think that's the most memorable. And can it really be the most memorable moment in a movie if I don't even know if I remember it correctly?
I don't. Yeah, never
Okay,
seen it.
next up, number 60, the bullet car chase. This one is amazing for me because there's parts where like they actually do the chase, but then they like dub it over with audio, and you can see him going 1,000 miles an hour, and he's driving an automatic car and still like shifting it. Like he's trying to like shift up into like 6th gear, and like he doesn't shift it, but then they do the audio for him shifting up, and you're like, what is he in 7,000th gear? What the fuck is happening right now? Which is, I just think that part is hilarious.
I always love that about movies. It's just like, wait, somebody wasn't paying attention, but it's also like one of those things that you just write off, especially for, I don't say, an older movie, like 68. That was a time when they were like, yeah, people will believe whatever.
Yeah.
This Mustang does have 80 different, gears.
I don't even know what year the car was, like 65 or whatever the fuck it was the car was supposed to be. It might have had 80 gears at that point, who knows? Now, I think next up, the astronaut walk from the right stuff. I don't think any of us have ever seen that movie. Nope. But I think this definitely is a best movie moment because they rip it off in everything, and it has become a trope in its own sense. Like it's
it started the tropes.
Like the
I agree.
slow,
I think that's
slow-mo like build-up walk. Like I don't know how many shows I've watched where they do it like the slow-mo walk, but on purpose, like they're faking the slow-mo because it looks badass.
Exactly. It's usually a parody of it sometimes, like in what's it called, Monsters Inc. That was one of the ones that always sticks out to me. Yeah, exactly. That's the one that like to me is the biggest parody that always sticks out. That's like because of that. So
next up, we've got A Few Good Men, number 58. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle
this one.
Truth.
That's that is definitely a most memorable movie quote.
I knew that line before I knew that movie.
They used to show it all the time on TBS,
movie, but I know the
which
line.
then became Peachtree TV. I don't remember them ever showing the movie, but I do remember them showing that bit.
Yeah, I agree. I remember it on TBS. I definitely watched it. I've seen it a couple times when I was younger, but I think you'd actually enjoy this, Craig. It's like a legal one, like military legal.
Think of Jag,
case.
but an army movie instead of the Navy.
Makes sense.
Next up, we've got Jake in the Mirror from Raging Bull, and I don't actually remember the scene from the movie. It must be a big one. It's just not in my memory banks.
Yeah. I have yet to watch this one. I do have this movie on DVD, just have not watched it, so I'll get to it. Then I'll tell you if I remember the scene.
Next up, who we got? We got the window smash from Do the Right Thing, No Idea. Failure to Communicate from
Don't
Cool
know what
Hand
that movie
Luke.
is.
Saw it when I was a kid, half-assed, kind of falling asleep. Here we go. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Hal loses it.
Anything from that movie?
No, I agree. That whole movie definitely falls under. It could, like, you could pick almost any moment from that. The monolith scene. Is that this one or the next one? Can't remember. I'm so bad with that. But you know what I mean. Different things like that. No, I really enjoy this scene particularly, like when he starts to go crazy. It's like, yeah.
I can't do that, Dave.
But next up, we've got Greed is Good from Wall Street, the 1987 Wall Street, coming out at 53. I think this one falls under it just because the expression kind of definitely has like hung around, and like, that's about all I'll give that one. Spaghetti Dinner from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, I think that one's way too fucking high. I don't think a lot of animated things should be that high on a list of best movie moments because you can animate whatever the fuck you want. Like I feel.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not something that like.
No, I do know what you mean by that.
You don't have to rely on people's acting prowess or like incredible writing, especially considering there's no talking. This is literally just someone thought this would be super cute, and it is. It is memorable. However,
yes, but it's writing that took it to getting to that moment. If that makes sense.
I don't know if it deserves to be that high. Maybe I'll concede it should be on the list.
I agree. I'll agree with that. It definitely doesn't deserve to be that high. It's just one little. It is this weird thing because I'll give it iconic more than I'd give it best.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, it definitely sticks out in my mind, but I don't want to say it's one of the best ones. Just kind of like, yeah, it's the only thing I remember about that movie.
Man, there are a lot of westerns on this list. Because next is John Wayne Walks Away at the Searchers. Never saw it. The Fall Will Kill You.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
It sounds familiar, but
yeah, I know Butch Cassidy.
The only thing that makes me think of "It'll Kill You" is just Thor or Infinity War. We're like, only if I die. Here we go.
Yeah,
Russian Roulette in The Deer Hunter. I've never seen The Deer Hunter. The only reason I know this movie exists is because of Jarhead, and because the guy's like, "Oh, my girlfriend just sent me the movie Deer Hunter. This is amazing." And it's a sex tape of her fucking like his best friend or something like that. That's the only reason I know of the Deer Hunter movie.
Oh, I just know it as well, like one of these like classics you're supposed to watch. But the picture I'm seeing has got Christopher Walken in it, so I'm like a younger Christopher Walken. So I'm like, but that makes me curious to see this movie just because I'm like, I love Christopher Walken.
I'm glad it was me, Craig. Next.
I'm hurt that it wasn't mine.
Next up, we have Merry Christmas from It's a Wonderful Life. This one, I'm gonna let it sit at 48. It's high and it's a high enough on the list where it's like, you know what, this movie is a timeless classic.
It made the top 50.
Everyone knows it. It's a tradition of mine every year. So I'm glad it's on the list. I'm glad it's high in quotations, but it's definitely not the most memorable moment.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got the slow-mo death in Bonnie and Clyde. I don't really care about that one, I'll be honest.
Never seen Bonnie and Clyde.
Funny how in Goodfellas. This is fantastic. Like, funny haha, like I amuse you. Like, I don't know, you're funny. Because this one, like, you almost feel like he's going to pop him. Or he's going to shoot him in the foot or something. Like, you don't genuinely know.
Yep. That's what I expected.
Like, he's going to, like, pull a knife and, like, get in his face. Like, you don't 100%. Genuinely know. Because Joe Pesci is fucking insane.
He does play that character very well.
I mean, this movie itself is just
incredible.
Go off
at any moment.
Yeah. Along with Casino. But this bit, I'm glad this is this high. I'm gonna let this one get a pass because it is a fantastic scene. Next up, here from Poltergeist. This one, okay, this one's very memorable. Everyone knows this scene though.
I do know it. I'll give you that. I do know it considering I've never seen Poltergeist because I was fancy.
That's fair.
Me neither. I'm not great with horror films. Like I'll watch some, but some just like certain ghost ones. I'm like, no, I'll think too much about that tonight. Like if it's, yeah, like I know it's not plausible, but like the first time I saw like Paranormal Activity, I remember just not liking that for like my mind just dwelling on it too much, being like, But anyways, on to the next one.
Harry Lime's entrance in The Third Man. Never seen it. Next one. This one's kind of ironic because I watched this movie this week, and I watched it with my uncle and Kendall. And as soon as she comes out, my uncle was like, "Gosh, she used to look good then." So then you gotta like Google like what she looks like now, and you're like, "Oh, she looks like dinnerware. Like she looks plastic." But that was like the first like sexy walk out of the water scene that I remember ever seeing. And as a kid, it did stuff for me. And then it's funny because then, like, as a teenager, once they show Daniel Craig come out of the water, you're like, cool. I like that. But I don't think anything tops the Halle Berry come out of the water. In, what's that, Die Another Day?
Not. That was my first one. So I saw that before this scene.
Because that one was just like, masterpiece. Oscar.
Yeah, this one, these ones I came back to, like the Sean Connerys, I had to come back to myself.
Well, the Sean Connery ones, you kind of have to go back and be like, oh no, he exclusively cared about boning before he...
I think that's why my family tried to keep it from showing those ones to me.
This one,
we're stuck with
like there's the one woman who he knows is bad. Like, he's busted her, he's got it set up that she's going to jail, and there's like 3 times where like they have sex. before they show up and arrest her because he's
Yep.
like, well, gotta get laid. What?
Yep.
Next up, we have the flag speech in Patton.
I have to give this. I think it. I don't know if I've never seen this, but
This
I do
scene
know
is
this
memorable
scene, so
because
that's why I'm like, I think it
I've
deserves
seen it
it.
in other things, right? It's been
It's been-
troped. Yeah.
It's been parodied, yeah. That's all I can really say. I don't really know how it plays
Yeah.
into that movie.
Next
at all.
up, I've never seen Lawrence of Arabia. I've heard of it 1,000 times.
Same
Never
here.
seen it.
I keep meaning to. It's one of those classics you're supposed to get to though. I'm like, who's got the time for these 4-hour old movies? Like, they used to not have editing, you guys. That's not true, but kind of. Like, how long's Gone
From
with the Wind?
17 hours.
Exactly. I don't have time for that. I've got seasons and seasons of TV shows to rewatch.
Next up, number 40. We're killing it on this list now. The three-way gunfight in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That one I don't think deserves to be this high, although I do think it deserves to be on the list.
I agree.
Next up, I'm
On the
walking
next
here.
one, I'm walking here.
I've never seen Midnight Cowboy. However,
Never
everyone
seen
knows
this scene,
this, right?
but I've heard this reference and I love it. So I'm not going to
Hear that,
argue
like,
with it because
Yeah, that
I'm
real
walking
intense
here
New York
is
New
great.
Yorker accent.
Yeah. So that one's great. What's next? I could have been a contender.
I think I've heard it. I've never
I
seen
could
it.
have been a contender on the waterfront. This is one of those classics, Marlon Brando, Yeah, I can't argue with this. This is one of those classic ones where I'm like, okay, whatever. What's next?
This
I
one-
ate his liver.
Yeah, this one's good.
This one I agree. It's spooky, it's creepy, and those eyes just stick out at you. Like on the article, they're showing like the clips from some of these scenes, and like just those dark eyes just staring at you. Just It looks like I believe he was eating
Yeah.
somebody during that movie, like just to get into method. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he's probably one of those people who went missing
Yeah.
that year. Look at Anthony Hopkins. Next up, we've got "Say Hello to My Little Friend" from Scarface. This one I think it's a little high, and this is another one I think it's more so like memorable because of the quote than it is like as a portion
Yeah.
of the movie. Because this is where the movie kind of becomes a little unhinged. Because like it's like what, a minute
Yeah.
and a half from him getting wasted.
Well, to be honest, though, it is the only part of the movie I do remember myself too, though. Like I've seen it like a
That
couple times when
cutting
I was
someone
in
up
high
with a
school, but
chainsaw,
it's the only thing
snorting
I
a
remember.
comical amount of cocaine.
Yeah.
Next up, Dirty Harry. This one was on TV the other night. Didn't watch it, but
I've never
the Dirty Harry movies
Yeah.
are phenomenal. And do you feel lucky, punk?
I have not seen them.
They've got some real good quotes because that is a quote. I don't think this.
That's a great-
I don't think this
that
one
is a
deserves
great
to be this
quote.
high. It does deserve to be on the list though. That one and nobody eats ketchup on a hot dog. Those are two fantastic quotes.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that. Next up, though, number 34 is Miss Robinson. You're trying to seduce me? The Graduate. Never
I
seen it.
watched like half of it,
Me
thinking
neither.
it was like softcore porn, and then you find out it's not, and I was kind of like, oh, this is the dad from Meet the Fockers. Weird.
When
Yeah.
he was young. Yeah, no, I got no feelings about that one. On to the next one. Number 33, Stella from A Streetcar Named Desire. I only know this one because of The Simpsons. I'm going to be honest. Because Marge
Yeah.
does the one play.
I've,
We got Ned screaming, Stella! Or something like
Stella,
that. I think they
Debbie!
changed the name.
yeah, I've seen it, but I was like young and like watching it with like my grandpa, and it did
Yeah.
nothing for me. I've seen it more in Family Guy than I have watching it.
That's
Next
that
up,
makes
we got
sense.
another oldie, 1950s, Sunset Boulevard. Never seen it.
Yeah, neither have I. On to the next one. 31, I'm Mad as
I'm
Hell.
not going to take this anymore.
Network.
This one, I've never seen this, but I've seen it in something. I think it was a cartoon. Like, we're mad as heck, and we're not going to take it. And it's like, it's a revolt scene. But it's in like a cartoon I watched as a kid.
Yeah, that does sound familiar to me as well, but I don't know what. Like some kids rebelling from detention
Recess,
or something. Or
maybe?
like some kind of like class punishment that they were given or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's just move on. We're not in Kansas anymore. Wizard of Oz coming in at number 30. I think this is a good spot for this and this moment. It's very iconic, I think. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Very
It's
iconic.
become a, like, is it an idiom? Is that the
Something like
expression?
that.
Like just a common phrase. Like people use that as a common, like, yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore.
I guess
Yeah.
that is an idiom.
Words. Yeah.
English. Who knew we'd be doing grammar lessons?
Well, no, I have to take them because of my performance on this podcast sometimes. But on to the next one. We talked about the. Oh no, we didn't. I thought it said Frodo, and I was just like, oh, we talked about Lord of the Rings recently, didn't we?
No.
We did not. This is not Lord of the Rings. This is a Godfather line.
2.
I don't know.
I don't
I've never
think this
seen
is the most
Godfather.
memorable moment for me in this one though. Like, if you're gonna do, especially for something Fredo related, you gotta do like, "You're breaking my heart, Fredo," when he's like choking him out in the boat.
See, I've heard of that scene. This scene, never heard of. Like, I haven't seen any of the Godfathers, and I know we've already
Me
gone
neither.
through. Okay.
You're not the only one.
Thank
Scott,
God, I'm
don't
not
worry.
alone on this one. He's just gone at me for. It was one of these, gangster movies that I hadn't seen that Andrew went off on me about before. So I was like, I know, I'm sorry.
Was it
Probably.
It was probably Goodfellas.
I can't even support you on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. That's why I kept down when that scene before was up. I was like, but yeah, no. From the Godfathers, I would definitely like the line you said before, Andrew. While he's choking him out. That or the you come to me on my
that
daughter's
one was the
wedding. I don't know
first
if that's the
That
other
was
one,
the
right?
first one because that was the
Yeah.
original Don Corleone.
Yeah, and see, that's the only moment that sticks out from all those movies. That's the one that I know, if that makes sense. So,
Next up,
anyways, yeah.
we got parting the Red Sea from the Ten Commandments. And as an agnostic, this one just whatever.
It's kind of important artistically.
Yeah, I'd say it should be on this movie, on the list at least. Maybe not necessarily this high, but
Not that high.
yeah. But I agree, especially for the time, the effect, it being such a big deal for them to be able to create that kind of effect, and make it now compared to today, obviously, is a big difference. But for the time, especially in '56,
Make
is a
it
pretty big
believable.
deal. So
Now we got
Yeah.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. This one, absolutely. And I'd say maybe
yeah,
even
you
a
got the
little
song,
bit higher.
You just said that, and I was I could hear the song starting to play as that
Yeah.
scene where he's "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and then you see the whole thing laying out before you. Yeah,
This one,
I agree.
I'd
This
put
could
this
be
like
even
15.
higher. I don't know if that's a little bit of recency bias
even
for us.
then, 1993. I wouldn't exactly say recency. It's our whole fucking
Well,
life.
no, I mean recency in the terms
Yeah.
of all movies. We have been skipping past
That we
all the
haven't
movies
seen.
from before 1970.
No, this one, I think this one definitely deserves to be higher because it was just this movie itself with the animatronic dinosaurs was just fucking game changing, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the CGI
Yeah.
of that scene as well, because that was a big deal at the time too. It was pre, CGI being in every movie, to be able to recreate the whole valley full of
absolutely.
of animals.
Next
yeah.
up, The Ride of the Valkyries and Apocalypse Now. This movie, this one, and what was it? The one that is based off of, just never. Yeah, they never did
The Heart of
anything for me.
Darkness?
The book.
I don't know if I'd pick Ride of the Valkyries.
Neither would I. I'd
over
probably pick the one.
I love the smell of napalm.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Or the scene where Brando, is it Brando in this one or?
Yeah, that's
where he's
Marlon
by
Brando.
himself, in the thing, the dark room by
Yeah,
and they enter.
And pretty much everything where all you see is half his face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what when you say Apocalypse Now, that's the first thing that comes to
Yeah.
mind is his face half covered in darkness.
Next up, we got The Chariot Race and Ben
no.
Hur. This is in a good spot because this is one that everyone knows of.
I think
Even
so.
if you haven't seen the movie, you know of this scene, and it is an iconic classic, but it's also not crazy high. So I think this is in a really good spot.
No, especially for it being a pre-CGI done scene, it is it deserves to be up there just for the work they put in to do it. They had a bunch of people, a bunch of horses, a bunch of they built a whole friggin' stadium. They went through it, and yeah, they
Classic
deserve credit for
Charlton
that.
Heston.
Again, though, one of these super long ones that I have not
Yeah,
been able to rewatch since I was a child.
417 minutes.
When I was forced to watch it over Christmas. But on to the next one that I personally think maybe should be a little higher, but that's again biased by me, which destroying the Death Star in A New Hope. It comes in at number 24. At least makes the top 25. So maybe
I would move it
I'll
up probably
agree it doesn't
4
need it as-
spots. I wouldn't move it any higher than that.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think it is pretty good, I guess, but it's a great scene. Just that him closing his eyes, goes in, and then the whole place just boom. That like I could still see that that's that special that effect where they that just boom, in the middle of space of it where it's
Yeah, they just blew up some
okay,
styrofoam in the
it's
middle of the lab, and they're like, cool.
Yeah, exactly. But it was I still it's such a unique visual too, because nothing else does it did it that kind of way, I would say, or used it in such a way. Plus, I'm just a shill for Star Wars. So.
Next up, we've got Here's Johnny.
And this is the one I can't argue with. I knew this line before I'd ever seen The Shining, or even knew it was
Still
from The
haven't seen
Shining.
it.
Oh,
Yep.
really, Craig? You haven't seen The Shining?
I'm pumped for
Okay, I think you would like this
Doctor
one.
Sleep. I'm so
think-
pumped for that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I'm pumped more because it's got
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor in a mainstream movie that I can go watch, as
Yeah.
opposed to an indie movie. But I am curious about it. The reason I say you would like this one because I believe it was Stanley Kubrick who did
believe
The
so.
Shining, right? And
I'm gonna find out.
I was trying to scroll down just below it to see if it says it. Yeah, directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Well, then it might be worth watching.
That's why I
even if I might. Not
I
see
think
it
for
the rest of
myself, I
That's-
prefer
yeah.
the Psych episode, where with Lassie's apartment. But this one, it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on to the next one, number 22, Damn You All to Hell from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Haven't seen the movie, but I know the bit.
Yeah.
So
Next.
obviously,
Yeah. Next up,
gotta
we've
be
got
somewhat
Singing in the
important.
Rain.
Exactly.
We've got the rain dance. Absolutely, it's an iconic scene.
that gets stuck in my head so freaking often, and I haven't seen it in 20 years.
I didn't know this was a whole movie until later in my life, to be honest. When I was a kid, I just thought this was like a music video or something that just existed from before, because I didn't know it was more than just this rain scene. I thought the whole singing in the rain
There's
was
You know
like a
what?
music
This
video.
movie scene is the most memorable, but definitely the Good Morning song is a lot more.
That's
Good
the one
morning,
that.
Good
yeah.
morning.
Those are the only two things
Or
I
Make 'em
remember
laugh.
about that
That's a
entire
pretty good
movie.
one.
I
But the
don't know
Good
if I know
Morning
that
is ugh. It's great to stay up.
Definitely.
See, I know Good Morning. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was part of singing in
It
the
is. It is one of the top
It is.
5 musicals ever.
rain.
I haven't seen it in 20
Yeah,
years.
it's gonna be one of those classics.
But I
I'll
still
add to
like
the
it.
list.
Next up, we've got the Empire State Building attack from King Kong. I would argue that this one actually deserves to be higher, just because everyone knows 'twas beauty that slayed the
everybody
beast.
knows this. This one's iconic. They've
Yeah.
redone it so many times. Just the number of times they've remade King Kong, it's parodied. It's
Done it
been
Exactly. parodied and
redone.
everything. and-
Yeah, no, I agree. If this was 10, it wouldn't surprise me. But 20, I gotta see the other 20 before I can really argue. I guess is the best
'Twas
way to
beauty
put
that
that.
killed the beast. Next up, The Hills Are Alive from The Sound of Music. Yeah, you can't argue that The Sound of Music
obviously.
doesn't deserve to be this high on the list.
Nope, never seen The Sound of Music,
Is
but I know
there-
that line.
I was gonna say, is there another part of the Sound of Music that anybody knows that if you haven't seen the movie, like Scott, can you name another part of that
No,
entire movie?
not a single thing.
I didn't think so.
I accept that.
Nope, no, exactly, and I agree, and I think that's also why it deserves to be so high too, because it does it sticks out for just having this one thing be part of For me, it sticks out because I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, with VHSs for our listeners, those are what we used to watch films.
Really big tapes.
Yeah, way back in the day, but they you'd get these little the studio who was whatever the VHS was from, they'd give you a little clip of best of clips from all their movies that studio had done, and then you get the studio logo. Do you guys
Yep.
remember these types of little scenes? And I always remember Sound of Music being one of the more predominant scenes to stick out in my mind. This exact one, just they're spinning around in the hills, and they're live
Yep.
with music.
That movie is too long.
Which is why I've never
But
actually
that's not
seen
the
it.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's 2 tapes,
Yeah.
which says a lot.
Next up,
Some people would not even
Yeah.
understand what that even means. What do you mean 2 tapes?
It's not quite Return of the King, but it's 2 tapes.
Yeah. All right, but what's
next
up next, Andrew?
we've got Forget It, Jake. It's Chinatown, and this one just right over my head. I've never seen Chinatown. It sounds
I
familiar,
don't know what
but
that is.
I've heard this
I don't even know
line,
what
but that's just about as much.
I don't even know what movie you're talking about because I don't have the list up.
Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Oh.
It's called Chinatown. Yep. It's from
makes sense.
74.
Oh.
Never seen it. I've been meaning to. It's one of those classics that you hear a lot about because,
Never even heard of it until now.
yeah. It's one of Jack Nicholson's earlier roles as well. That's one of the things that does stick out about it. Film noir, etc., etc. On to the next one. We got the head spin scene from The Exorcist coming in at number
This
17.
one creepy as fuck.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen even the scene, but I know what you're talking about.
I've seen so many parodies for this. Like
Yeah.
to me, the thing that sticks out more is the Scary Movie parody of it.
Yeah.
That's because I saw that. I've seen that movie as opposed to I've never seen The Exorcist. I've only seen it parodied for the most part. But again, as we've said a bunch of times, things that are parodied a lot
Yeah. Well, this
deserve to be
one,
on the list.
the thing I remember most about this
Obviously.
movie is your mother sucks cocks in hell, and that's because my mom would say it to my cats. Like, if they were just being dicks, she would just be like, Blue, your mother sucks cocks in hell. And you'd be like, whoa. Mom means business. Next up, we got another Kubrick. We've got the A-Bomb Rodeo from Dr. Strangelove. This one,
Never seen it.
I've only seen it because of my grandpa, and this was like his favorite movie. It did not do anything really for me. It didn't like build up this urge to go see more movies. I love me some Peter Sellers, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it deserves to be this high.
I've never seen it, so I can't comment. But I know it's one of those classics that like get referred to a lot. So again, it's Stanley Kubrick classic. So
Well, next
he's been on this list.
next up we got Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Boulder Dash. You can't even
Yep,
begin
can't argue
to
with that.
argue
Obviously.
that this doesn't
Great.
deserve to be up this high.
No, I agree.
The problem that I have with Raiders is that there are so many other scenes
Yeah, that are great too.
that you could also pick, but obviously that's like the top
Yeah.
of the scenes to take as important.
It's
movie
the part that
moments
they
in
take
movie.
him doing their live action shows, or not live action, like
Yeah.
their, you know what I mean, theme park shows of Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, can't really do the face melting scene
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Next up, The Dress and the Subway Grate from The 7-Year Itch, which just sounds like Marilyn Monroe having gonorrhea forever. I've never actually seen this movie.
That was my first thought too.
but
I've only
yeah.
ever seen a still.
Yeah, I thought this again was just a picture. I
You
thought
know what?
this was
Looking
just,
at this
like a photo
looking at
shoot
this
or
picture,
something.
Sexy as all hell. She was a beautiful, beautiful woman. Probably kind of dirty, but beautiful, beautiful woman. But I've seen this ripped off in so many things that I don't even really want to give her credit
Oh, yeah.
for it. Like
Bugs
Anna Faris
Bunny
does it,
and-
Bugs Bunny. You know, if they showed me Lola Bunny doing it, hot damn. Like they do it 3 or 4 times in Family Guy. Like it's one that has been, copied by so
yeah,
many.
it
It
is
is
iconic. so.
However, does nothing for me.
I think the one thing for me about it is like a couple of these classics where like again Singing in the Rain was like a tune where I'm like, does it count when it's like to me it's like it's not like I didn't remember it was even part of a movie though.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I thought it was just a picture of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something like
It does, I think, because it still comes out of a movie, and it's everywhere. It's just you were ignorant to the fact that it
Yeah.
was a
that's
movie.
that's fair. It reached into pop culture. The fact that I didn't
Yeah.
identify where in pop culture is more my own failings.
Damn it, Scott.
Ignorance.
Ignorance.
Well, next up we've got the Crop
Your
Duster
fault.
attack in North by Northwest. I've never seen it. I've seen the scene, but
Nope.
doesn't.
This-
yeah.
I've just seen this scene as one of those ones, like I said at the beginning of like VHSs and DVDs, like best of a studio's like films.
Next up, we've got the
Uh,
Philadelphia Steps and Rocky. Can't argue. Absolutely deserves to be this
Obviously.
high.
No, can't argue.
Number 11.
I still get like chills
Yeah.
when I still watch that. Like,
I just think about Donnie in high school singing "Flying Higher." That is it. Donnie, if you're listening, thank you. Shout outs to you. Next up, we've heard "You Ain't Heard Nothing Yet," the jazz singer. Never seen it. This just makes me think of "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet." Baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. So this one doesn't get any credit from me. The chest burster in Alien, though, number 10. Everyone knows this one.
Yep.
Never seen the movie. Know exactly what you're talking about.
Again, one of those ones that have been parodied and just is in pop culture as this like as a thing.
Next we got Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid. Absolutely, this.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be up here. I do love this line though. Like,
frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Ugh.
That's probably one of my favorite movie lines of all time. It's just badass. Yeah. It's like I've never watched.
The most polite way to say "fuck off, bitch." This.
Yeah, it's a polite way to do it too, and I just. Like frankly, like especially like that.
You
like,
have dicked,
starting
you
with
have
frankly,
me over so many times. Our daughter died due to your negligence. I'm out. Fuck you, bitch. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, and I can't argue with this one from 1939. This movie is just, it's entered. What? So that makes this year's. It's.
Do the math. You got this. You got this. There we go.
80th? 80th anniversary. I'm so bad with math. I haven't had to do quick math like this in so long.
Oh, that was
blast you cell phones.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I know your family's big fans of Gone with the Wind. So,
Number 7, the flying bike scene in E.T. I'm not a huge fan of the movie E.T. Yep. However, this scene is another one where everyone recognizes it. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like the logo for. Was it Spielberg's? Production
for his,
company.
Spielberg's production company. Yep. Yeah, no, I can't argue with that one. I'm with Andrew though. Yeah. Not like I've seen E.T. once when I was younger, and I was like, I watched it too late in my childhood to be like nostalgic, like to connect with the kids. It was just a weird alien movie for me. Like,
no, I watched it when I was a young kid. Terrified me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I always hated the like different alien designs from back in the day because they were always so weird looking to me at least. Like that fake alien, like their skin is what throws me off. Like you could tell it's fake because it's like the sun, like the light doesn't hit it right. It's too even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, on to number 6.
The shower scene from Psycho. I can't argue against this. The first time I saw that anything related to that scene though was in Looney Tunes Back in Action when Brendan Fraser gets home.
I was just thinking that exact
bugs
scene
in the shower and
popped into my mind.
And dumps the Hershey's chocolate
drops
stuff
the
down the drain.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. A and B, I that's immediately what I thought of too when we.
I probably reference that movie once a month with the "Me mother taking you to mother." Just I love that bit. Next up.
Yeah, but this scene definitely
next
deserves
up,
to be
number 5, Jaws. You're gonna need a bigger boat. I can't argue this. Like Jaws was just another iconic movie.
Nope. Yep, the first blockbuster movie. Like it started blockbuster movies.
Yeah, like
it's
the summer
that,
blockbusters. So. Absolutely.
Yeah, summer blockbuster movie. Yeah, and like since then we've only had like big summer blockbusters since then. So, big iconic scene from a big iconic movie. Yeah, can't argue with it being the top 5 to be really honest. Like it's up there.
Next we got You Talking to Me from Taxi Driver. I
love this one. We talked about Taxi Driver. Yeah, I love Taxi Driver as a movie, but I probably for the wrong reasons probably. But I agree. I think it sticks out. It's one of those ones that again has been parodied and kind of not made fun of necessarily, but just also kind of like referenced or paid tribute to in a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Andrew, you're going to have to take it from here because my list is
cool.
Not
so number 3
anymore.
We've got Citizen Kane, and the way it starts is Rosebud. This one I can't argue. This is one of the people argue this might be the best movie ever made. So I can't
Yeah, some people try to say
it doesn't deserve to be that high, because it does. Everyone knows about this line, unless you're some ignorant little fuck who's like 16 years old. But everyone else knows about it. And here we go, an offer he can't refuse. We got the Godfather, the first Godfather coming up. The Brando Godfather. And yeah, this one, I don't know if this would be the scene that jumps off the page at me when I think Godfather, but it absolutely is top 3 for Godfather scenes for me, so I can't argue. That, yeah.
Yeah, no, neither can I. I think it definitely fits
and
up
the
there.
final one is one that, if you hadn't guessed it already, like, what are you doing with your life? And it is the I Am Your Father scene from Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. No!
Yes. That's his response is what sticks out more to me too. Like him reaching out his hand and then Luke just being like,
with like a crumpled face.
Yeah, that the crumpled face especially, because that to me always just like stuck out, being like, that's a little bit goofy, but I love it nonetheless. No, I honestly couldn't think of a better movie moment like that sticks out in my mind, I guess. Like, but I didn't think they'd go with Star Wars too. That's the thing. It was a little surprise for me for this list, because I thought they were, gonna neglect it, but it's up there. So yeah, no, I love it. I'm trying to think of more things to say other than I agree with Star Wars being cool, because we've said that so many times. Yeah. So yeah, it brings us to the end, I guess, of the top 100 movie moments from IGN for our 100th episode. It took a little bit to get through it.
We may never go back to.
Yes, I agree, because mine just froze like
just
3
for their loading
times.
problems?
Like, and then it was like, then it reloaded and tried to ask me to sign up for their newsletter, and I'm like, I haven't even been able to read this whole article
Why
yet.
would I want? Are you going to tell me what the rest of the articles are in the newsletter? Then no.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably move on to what we watched this week then, guys?
Yes, we should.
Who would like to start? I have a
You know what, Scott? You take the
list,
take the lead.
Take the reins. Take the wheel.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead first. Okay. Try to make up some more things to make my list seem longer. All right. Well, I've got 3 things, and one of those is one I've mentioned so many different times. I'm still rewatching Stargate
What are you
SG-1.
doing, man?
I had to. Yeah. Well, I did take a break for like a month because I got into Hell's Kitchen, and then I realized I'd watched 4 seasons of Hell's Kitchen and hadn't watched a single episode of Stargate SG-1 in like a month or two. So I was like, okay. Spent a whole day on Sunday or Monday, since we had the day off for Labor Day. Just watched a bunch of SG-1, and I loved it. It's always just a fun thing it's my show. I love it. So yeah, I've been continuing to watch that. But the new things I watched this weekend, there was 2 shows released on 2 of the streaming services. We had Dark Crystal show up on Netflix, which I watched on Saturday, and I watched Carnival Row on Amazon
Which
Prime.
would you recommend getting to first?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Who am I recommending
Me.
it to? To you.
I was gonna say.
Ooh, okay. I don't know how you feel about the original Dark Crystal
To be
movie.
honest, it didn't really do anything for me.
Okay. So that being said, then you probably like Carnival
Okay.
Row a little bit better, just because I don't know, but it's a little easier to connect with the story, I think. But at the same time, I don't know, because Dark Crystal is just, the 3 good guys figure out what the bad guys are doing, and they got to stop that. It's like, oh, it's
Trying to
pretty
stop
straightforward. It's that's pretty much like they got to stop the bad guys is what the Dark Crystal is about. They're like, oh, the Skeksis are corrupting the crystal. We have to stop them, or the whole planet dies. And that's what the first season is them, coming together and trying to stop the Skeksis. And so that was enjoyable. I liked it. I definitely think that we're going to be getting another season, I imagine, but I also don't know because this is a prequel series, so I don't know how much prequel we get before the movie because I don't really remember the movie. I meant to watch that this weekend, but then I watched Stargate. Then I watched Stargate. But yeah, Carnival Row has Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne, I believe her name is. Yeah, and that one's about like this world where it's pretty much like this is one of these funny things which I've noticed in a bunch of fantasy things, which is they just make a new world, but they just change England into
Yeah.
their new world. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, Scotland's no longer Scotland. It's where this section of people come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like in this case, it's like fairy folk and different types of like magical creatures and stuff. But yeah, that one's a pretty interesting story. It's like a detective-y story / you're following the Cara Delevingne's character as she's just a recent immigrant into like pretty much London. Like it's called the Burg, but it's London. Like and so yeah, it's just kind of about like her, trying to settle in and the, different types of, prejudice that all the humans have towards all these magical creatures and fairies and stuff and all the fucked up things that go along with that stuff. So it's definitely the heavier of the two. So this is it's tough because I watched both of them like one after another. And so it's like trying to pick which one, like, because I had to pick which one to watch first. And I settled on Dark Crystal just because it had 10 episodes.
So it was a little quicker, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got to take more time to get through that. And whereas, what's it called? It's 8 episodes.
Were they both hour long?
So it's shorter.
Okay.
Yes. It's just under an hour. So yeah, like they're both pretty, like they're both shorter seasons. Like I thought Dark Crystal felt like kind of perfectly length at 10. And then, Carnival Row, particularly with 8 episodes, they didn't have any episodes you didn't need. You know what I mean? Like we did get a whole episode of just their backstory, but it's also like, well, you kind of need that, if that makes sense. Like for these two main characters to know where, why they're connected, you need their backstory. So, but yeah, no, I thought they were both enjoyable. I pretty much gave them the same rating, but they're for very different reasons. Carnival Row is the adult show. Like it's an adult fantasy, and then Dark Crystal is the kids' fantasy, if that's the best way to kind of put it, like the most like basic breakdown of the two. So it's like, are you more for like a kiddie family movie fantasy show, then you lean towards the Dark Crystal. If you want something a little more dark and adult, like there's a lot of sex in Carnival Row.
Should have started with that.
That's the one thing that doesn't stick out to me as a thing, because like all shows have that now, but Dark Crystal doesn't. Actually, I should point out, Dark Crystal doesn't have puppet sex. So I don't know I don't know where you guys sit on if that's a plus or a minus, but to each their own.
I'm not gonna watch either one of them.
But yeah, no, Carnival Row I enjoyed. Like I said, like it's just the more adult one, so I liked it because of its adult themes. But Dark Crystal was cool because it had this like world which I got to discover that I hadn't didn't know anything about, so it was kind of cool to discover this new fantasy.
And it's nice to know that Orlando Bloom
and the puppets were really cool. But
it's nice to know that Orlando Bloom is still alive too.
Yeah, that was a cool thing about this too, is that he's still around. He's still like active. He still looks good. Still doing the banging. Women still love him.
He's still fucking beautiful.
He's the one doing the sexing.
That horny motherfucker.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's all I watched this week was those two shows. Yeah, it was a lot of YouTube during the week, and then the weekend, like I said, I watched each season Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I spent watching
Happy
Stargate,
Labor Day to you.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But who wants to go next? Since I am done. I have nothing.
Craig, do you want to take the reins?
Sure, why not? My list, technically, if we follow the definition of what I watched this week, is.
But you also have
small.
a couple weeks of catch up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give that the old synopsis. Basically, all we've been watching recently is Friends, and recently started watching Family Guy season 17, which is
I was
awesome.
Disappointed with it. I've watched it twice, and it's a different take. Yeah. Like it's almost like you can sense they kind of like they're just waiting to get canceled. They're like kind of like
it's on its way out.
Shit.
Are we gonna go more stuff?
Yeah, because like they don't really incorporate a lot of like the secondary characters. Like there isn't much Cleveland, barely any Joe. Quagmire gets a few moments here and there, but it helps that he's voiced by Seth MacFarlane. Like even Brian, like
I was watching an episode last night, and I was like, this feels like the first time I've seen Joe all season.
Like they have a couple of things where like just him and Cleveland just aren't there, or they get rid of them on purpose. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, that feels like this season's thing. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. However,
I've watched.
You can sense that it's the impending doom.
Yeah, which I think
Yeah.
17 seasons,
Yeah.
getting close to about time.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't.
Gi-
That's what.
give
Like
me
every time the
3
Simpsons
more.
gets renewed, I'm like, bro, we're still
Give me
doing that.
3
Okay.
more, and then call it quits. Get it to 20, because at this point you're so close.
Yeah, you might as well just round it out.
Give
nice
me
and
another
even.
80 episodes, and then just call it quits.
Yeah. So watch that, and then over the course of my
Bless you to Sam.
lengthy and yeah,
I was trying to
Sam's
figure out
just
which one of
dying
you
on-
two had the background noise.
Yeah.
dying on the couch over there.
Hopefully she lives.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
The whole world can hear you.
Bless you.
Well, we can hear you sneezing. We just can't hear you talking. Anyway,
That's not important at all.
we watched a selection of films selected by one Mike Lambert for the most part.
Were they cute as
Rom-coms,
shit?
some other stuff. Oh yeah,
Oh,
we watched
not what
Creed
I was
2.
expecting.
Sam watched it twice for some reason.
He's-
I watched Venom again. I almost forgot. I watched Venom on the
Aiden
airplane.
told me he watched Creed 2 recently. Did it recently get added to something?
yeah, I
what
got added to
was.
Crave.
It was on.
Okay.
Well, it was on the
He
airplane.
told me it was shit.
And then it was on. I think it was on.
It's on
Did we
Crave.
watch Creed 2 on Crave? Yes, we did. We picked it out on Crave. So yeah, that explains why we watched it. What else did I watch? We watched a really dumb. Yes, it was. It was not as good as you make it seem. It was it was a stupid romantic. So, I laugh at a lot of things. It was a stupid romantic comedy that makes fun of romantic comedies.
Is that the one that
Isn't
came
it
out?
Romantic.
Rebel
with-
Wilson? You know,
with
Kendall and I were going to go
Rebel
see it
Wilson
in theaters. And we didn't.
And which one? Sorry. Yeah. Liam Hemsworth. That's the one. That's what I was waiting for. He's in that. Yes, Adam Devine or Divine or whatever his name is. It was. I will be honest. I laughed at a couple things because it is poking fun at romantic comedies, but it was not the best movie.
But it's
I've
still
ever
a
seen.
romantic comedy, right?
It was still a romantic
Yeah.
comedy because that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, oh, you're a romantic comedy making fun of romantic comedies. Isn't that like?
Yeah, that was
Hypocritical?
the whole point. Yeah, they were trying to be fresh.
Yeah.
And instead,
See,
they
to me, that
didn't.
doesn't
I
sound
think they knew what
fresh.
they were
It
doing.
sounds lame. It's like that's literally the least original idea to come up with for a rom-com is to make fun of all the ones that they've
Yeah,
done
really.
before.
Yeah, that is. It was. Yeah, the whole idea was to make fun of tropes, and
Yeah,
then
like-
the idea was that it was supposed to be so self-aware that it was leaning into the tropes.
Yeah.
Because the whole concept is that she ends up trapped in a romantic comedy and she needs to get out of it by just following along with the tropes. So that's how they do it.
Yeah, no, this sounds lame. I've never.
It-
This is why.
it
This is why I don't
was-
watch
yeah.
rom-coms.
Yes. Well, when your options on an airplane
No, I get
are
that.
limited.
I get that. I really do. I probably would have watched some rom-coms if.
my headphone
Oh.
jack didn't work on the flight back, so I watched that. We watched a lot of Say Yes to the Dress. A lot. Apparently, that's the only thing on in Calgary.
Nothing but weddings in Calgary.
The worst part. Okay, so Say Yes to the Dress is Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah, you don't have to
Whatever.
explain it. Yeah.
It's a TV show. You can watch it for mindless entertainment. The drama portions of it are pretty fun, but that's like the extent of
Yeah.
it. The thing that sucked the most about it is the one night we were watching it and TLC just kept running the same commercial for their other shows for the entire length of the commercial break, and there must have been like the same show, the same commercial done 4 times in the same commercial break.
Oh God.
Like, it was just ridiculous. But yeah, that's what I
Commercial
watched while I
breaks.
wasn't
That's
here.
the part I love about this. It's like, oh, you're watching actual TV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Straight satellite and or
Maybe.
cable.
Made me miss the Netflix.
That's how they do it.
That's how Netflix became what it is today.
Exactly.
I'm tired of watching these stupid ass commercials. Oh,
You know what? It wouldn't have been that bad if it was actual
Yeah,
commercials.
no, that's what
I would have rather watched Tide ads than
Yeah.
the same ad for the same TLC show over and over and over again.
that's like CTV. If you watch like stuff on their like website, which I would watch for like Agents of Shield, the new season.
They're gaps. They repeat stuff.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like every like 5 minutes you get the exact same 5 ads, and so that will sometimes. Well, I don't. Other people who I
MLB
know
TV
maybe will
does it
use
too.
ad blockers for that kind of thing.
MLB TV does, like, I don't know if they still do. I haven't watched it in a while, but they used to, like, their commercial breaks, they black them out. Like, they block them out.
Yeah.
You pay for the premium subscription. They show you the baseball game, and then they block out the commercial breaks when there's nothing on the field. And they used to show, I don't know if they still do, like clips from the season or whatever. But you watch a game, and every single break would be the same stupid clip.
Oh, that's annoying. That's just laziness
Over and over and
on
over.
somebody's part.
Exactly. It's programming laziness. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's like, oh, you guys definitely have more clips than that. You just need somebody to go in and just actually be like, okay, this is the one for this and this and this and that. And it's like, nope, somebody clicked play all.
Yeah. Exactly. But that's all I watched this week.
That's fair.
That was
You were
a-
on
that was a
vacation.
You're
quick,
up.
painless list.
Yes,
well, I'm
there
about
wasn't
to
much
crush mine. I already talked about Family Guy. So check that one off. Talked about Dr.
Yep.
No already. Check that one off. I rewatched a couple episodes of the Mindy Project, so I was gone. Kendall and I were
Yep.
doing a Harry Potter marathon, in quotes, where we're just rewatching the Harry Potter movies on date night because, like, they're good
Nice.
movies. So we watched Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. Boom. I rewatched Dave Chappelle's, was it Six and Stones or whatever it was, his most recent one.
Yes. The new special?
Right. Yeah, we watched that too. I completely
really
forgot
enjoyed
about
It
I
felt
haven't gotten Craig's
felt
opinion
very
on it,
podcasty
actually, did we?
to me. Yeah,
that. I liked it,
yeah.
but I like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Dave Chappelle. What else? So today, actually, I watched The Dark Tower. I own it on
Oh.
DVD.
Ooh.
Never.
What did
opened
you
it.
think?
So I watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I actually, yeah.
Wait, it's on Netflix?
It's
Yeah.
Netflix and on
I
Crave, believe,
thoroughly
as well.
enjoyed it.
How long has
recently.
it been on
That's a
Netflix?
recent-
Within the last couple of days.
Oh, okay. I was like, duh.
But it is.
Okay,
I
well, that's
enjoyed
on my
it. It
list
caught
now.
a lot of flack, and a lot of people I spoke to did not like it. I really enjoyed it
Did you read any
Nope.
of the Dark Tower series?
because that's Stephen King, isn't it? I'm not a Stephen King
Yes.
guy.
Yes. But it's not like, see, that's the only Stephen King I can handle.
Yeah, sci-fi Stephen King I can
I-
handle.
I can't read
Yeah.
any other Stephen King. I can't watch any other Stephen King. But the Dark
See,
Tower I could actually handle. 'cause
Part of
it's
the
not
reason I never
overly
read
horror.
Shawshank is because I like the movie so much. So I was kind of like, I don't think I can
Oh.
watch or I can read Stephen King because it's going to affect my opinion on the movies I like.
From what I've heard, reading
Yeah.
Stephen King is better than watching Stephen King.
Apparently, the new hit is god awful.
That's
Aiden
not-
went and saw it tonight
Yeah, well.
on a recording night, and he just texted me while we were recording, and he said he was disappointed. And this is one of his like top 4 movies of the year, which all of his top 4 movies have sucked so far.
That sucks.
I know. Yeah,
We shoulda got
I
him in
know,
the draft.
I know
I
that
know.
Glass
This
was
is-
like his number 1 movie, and it was like the worst movie ever made.
Well, this is
Really?
what I mean. Like, this guy just has bad taste
Yeah.
in movies.
He's
like,
a weird guy.
But
Like,
yes, what are you saying?
Next year, yeah. That we should have had him in on the draft.
Yeah, he would
so at
take
least
away all
one
the
of us had a
shitty
chance
ones.
to win.
But no,
Exactly.
The Dark Tower, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only other thing I've watched, and I've watched it 15 times because I've had it playing at the shop this week, Godzilla King of Monsters. And
Oh,
every
nice.
time that movie comes on, I straight up cream my pants because it is so good.
it is a big
I
old
don't
monster
know
battle.
why people want more human interaction in it. They could cut out 80% of the human interaction. They have just enough emotional parts in it where you're like, okay, cool, I can see that. I can see why you tied that in. Let's just watch them go fucking fight. Like the final fight scene, spoiler alert, where like he's just like fucking nuclear meltdown, and they show you like him walking through town, melting fucking buildings, just everything he comes into contact just becomes a liquid. Like, and then like he just like charges and like just fucking lets off his thing, and Ghidorah like blocks it with his wings, and his wings melt. No more wings. And then he falls backwards onto his back, and he does like the coward kind of like pull back, where he like just swiveling backwards. Like that scene right there, I was like, fuck yes. I don't even need to see him die. Just that part where he's like pulling back just in fear, because he knows Godzilla is just so overpowered. And then he fucking just power blasts him again, and he melts the heads off. And then he straight up just like steps on his chest and like looks into his soul like, you're fucked, and just crushes him into explosion. Like fucking so good. Like I have a semi right now. I'm popping a semi chub because that bit is so fucking awesome. Especially because like they show like the massive culminating fight like 3 times in the movie. Like, it's not just like Godzilla's trying to get powerful and like end up, facing Ivan Drago at the end. No, it's the total build-up.
Yeah,
like,
they build up. They've got plenty of monsters. For
Godzilla loses twice to King Ghidorah.
Yep. Well, it's the hero's
he loses twice, and in the end, like the intervention of that fucking nuke, and then Mothra, R.I.P., going boom boom, and then he's just like, nope.
It's kind of funny how spot on this is for the hero's
like
journey.
It's so fucking good.
Like Godzilla's the hero, and he's the reluctant hero at first, right? Because he just wants to chill to himself.
Godzilla kind of knows like his role is like he's kind of like the reluctant ruler. Like he's there to check the balance and make sure everything stays the way it's supposed to be. So like when he has to intervene, he's like, fuck, I gotta go intervene. Let's do this.
Yeah, because
like I want to see that movie just dubbed over with like the Hercules soundtrack, where like I can find my way, I can go the distance.
While he's blasting somebody's face.
I'm just.
I'm down for that.
When he first gets introduced to King Ghidorah in was it Antarctica, and like they do the chase, like the run at each other. Like, I can find my way. It'd be amazing.
I can't argue with that. Or
then like when Mothra's like sacrificing herself for him, like, I won't say I'm in love. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Like that'll be so good. So good. So unnecessary, but so good. But on that note, that concludes episode number 100.
Episode 100.
Big number.
We're in the triple digits.
Episode song.
How long? We'll see.
We'll see. We got maybe 99 left in us. We'll see.
We got at least 4 left, so.
Yep. Count them down.
Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.